but this is not a job. If it were a job, I would hate my life because I can't stand talking about it. I can't say the word influencer without throwing up in my mouth. But like, I get it, and I don't want to downplay what it is, but I don't take myself too seriously.
Welcome to Living Not So Fabulously, where financial freedom means exhaling and letting joy, not money stress, take center stage.
Greg Kata is a teacher turned accidental social media star whose Gregisms deliver humor, heart, and life lessons to millions online. From Broadway lights in Mamma Mia to the bright glow of your Instagram feed, Greg has made his career in finding joy in everyday moments. Welcome to the show, Greg.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Of course, we're excited to have this discussion. So let's start off. You were in the Vegas cast of Mamma Mia, reportedly earning pretty decent money at the time. But not doing a whole lot with sort of savings and investing. And I think this is something we've all experienced, right? During the feast years, we feel invincible, and then we never really plan for the famine years. Can you give us a little bit of context on your story?
Well, yeah, I mean, I think it's just as simple as like I went from making no money to suddenly making six figures and not ever really being taught how to navigate that. And so my instinct was to just, yay, I can get the things that I've always wanted, as opposed to, well, you can get some of those things, but like, do you really need like a Restoration Hardware toilet paper dispenser? Like, but I thought I did, I guess. So it was really more like going from 0 to 60 in such a short, quick period of time. And hindsight's 2020, but like I really get more angry because I'm not a dumb person. I'm intelligent enough to understand, and and had the wherewithal to guess figure it out. It just sort of, after struggling and being a student, and then just doing gig work, or just doing a month-long run to get a long-running hit show and have stability, it just was, I think it was really more of a feeling that I just never had before. And it was more, I think I was just trying to chase that feeling because I was nervous it was going to go away quick.
Yeah.
So I better spend this money now.
So I want to dive into that a little. Let's dive into that a little bit, because you are smart, right? You're a teacher. You have a successful business of your own. And so many people kind of equate like being able to manage money with being sort of textbook intelligence, but there's so much emotion immersed in our finances. Looking back now, how would you advise younger Greg to maybe sort of overcome some of those emotional challenges that kind of drew you to spending maybe that wasn't necessarily so wise?
Well, if I would show, it would be like a gay Christmas Carol. I would just show him my life at 35 and be like, so this is what happens when you don't put your money away, idiot. But it would be, I mean, I would just definitely, you're right about the emotional ties to it. Like, none of that stuff that I bought, I have any, I don't even think I still have most of it. And so it would be having a discussion about that sort of impulse, emotional response to getting money and then spending money, and not being afraid, like maybe putting a little bit more fear of like, it's okay to not spend that. It's okay to not do everything that, and to my defense, I was living in Las Vegas in the early aughts, which was kind of like the time to be in Vegas. It was the Paris Hilton. The nightclub was just being discovered, at least in Las Vegas's eyes, because, it went from no casinos having a nightclub to every casino having a nightclub. And, so there was always something for me to do. And I just was someone that said yes.
Yeah. If you're just tuning in, this is Living Not So Fabulously, where we mix real money talk with Broadway show lights, classroom lessons, and Insta-worthy Gregisms. So, Greg, I just want to I guess, relate to what you're saying here. John and I both our backstory is coming back from having $51,000 in credit card debt that was attached to the time period when we first started earning money. And I kind of feel like for a lot of people, when we don't have that education at home or we don't have that education in high school about how to actually use money in a wise manner, it's almost like the dark clouds pass and then there's the rainbow and the pot of gold, and we all just it's almost like the rush, right? It's this rush that we get with, I finally have the opportunity to live my life the way I want to. And for John and I, we say pile on top of that the fact that we were gay, coming out of a world where it wasn't okay to be gay. We could now spend money on being gay, and all of that just kind of wrapped into, unfortunately for us, a major problem.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think that's all. It's all. Nothing is, just in a vacuum and existing, alone. I think you can dissect that all. It's like being able to support yourself, being able to do all those things that, yeah, I want to go. I mean, I didn't go on a gay cruise, but I could have afforded to go on a gay cruise. So it's like, being able to say yes to things that felt like a power move in some ways, especially as a gay person. And then like finding out that so many of your gay friends have expendable and disposable incomes, you're like, oh, I guess I'm keeping up with the Joneses. They just happen to be the gay Joneses. And so, it's there was definitely a lot of that. I definitely can feel that and relate to that for sure. I mean, I didn't do a lot of the partying, it just the exclusive gay partying, but I did the Vegas version of that, which is like even more terrifying because I saw things that not only I don't want to see again, but like that I really had no business seeing, or attraction to, I should say.
Yeah.
Yeah, something you said there really struck a chord with me, and I wonder if there's something to unpack with, you said the ability to be able to say yes now. Well, when especially for our age demographic, we grew up from in time and a place when it wasn't okay to be gay, so there was this big monumental no finger wagging in our face our entire lives, like, who you are is not okay. You cannot be this way. You've got to change. You've got to correct yourself. Now we're going to bring conversion therapy back again. So all these people are thinking, we get into adulthood and we're like, everything's been no, but now I can finally say yes to everything.
Yeah.
So now I'm not going to say no to anything.
Yeah.
Right, which is terrible. Yeah, I mean, I think it's that ability to say yes, but also like that pressure to feel successful. And I think this is what like you realize that success means something different at every stage in your life, but like especially coming out of like a really competitive drama program. For me, it was like who could get the show first, and who, and then you. It wasn't just getting the show; then it was showing people that you were successful by how you dressed, and suddenly, all. So I mean, like again, I pissed so much money away on clothes that I wore once and never needed, and just too many things that. But it was all it was all for show when I really think about it. I mean, now oddly enough, I'm making more money than I did in Mamma Mia, and I like shop at like Old Navy sometimes because I'm like, I don't care. Like if it looks cute and I feel comfortable, I don't care. I know I'm wearing a Hugo Boss hat right now, but I got it at an outlet and it was like $20. But like that's like I'm not into any of that anymore because I've redefined what successful means to me, and it surely is not money. I mean, money's part of it, but it I think that was it. It was just some of it. I think we equate it with youth, and these mistakes happen in our youth, and it's not that it's excusable, but it's like that's part of the process of growing up. And it, even if my mother, I feel like, did teach me how to be good with money, the only way I think it would have stuck is if like she put that like fear of God in me that I was gonna like die on the street starving, so you better save. And I've had friends like that, and they're insufferable to be around. So like I don't know what's better, to be completely honest.
Yeah. Greg, I appreciate what you were just sharing. John, and one thing John and I have said is that we've even shared this when we've been on stage. We've talked to people and we said that this experience is not exclusively a gay experience, right? We know lesbians who feel compelled to drive the right kind of car, have the right number of pets, give to the right charities. We know certain cultures, they have to have a certain length of nail. They have to have a certain number of weaves and wigs. And it's just there's always, no matter what culture you're in, this seems to be this pressure to try to show your success rather than live your success. And I think that that's what I really got from what you were just saying, is that you decided inside what success is to me. And I think that's the growing up part of it. Right. And we know people who still haven't grown up from that. They may be in their 50s, 60s, and 70s, and they still haven't grown up from that. I need to show my success on the outside.
Yeah, I mean, it's and I mean, it really does just come down to redefining it for yourself and what that really means to you. I mean, I have so many friends that are. I mean, New Orleans is where I live now, is like the high society capital of the world, because it still pretends that it's in like the 1800s when it comes to so many of their tradition, their balls, the debutantes, all of that. I mean, that could be it should be its own reality show, by the way, because y'all don't, yeah, you do not understand Mardi Gras unless you have lived here or you've been here, because it is not what we think it is. But it's like they're mortgaging houses to pay for a debutante dress there, because everyone is constant. They don't want anyone to think that they're struggling and they're whatever. And you just kind of look at it and you're just like, wow, and it's in that same realm when, like, I tell people we like to go on Carnival cruises, and that, like, it's that moral superiority where someone's like, ugh, I would never go on Carnival. And I'm like, girl, look, I worked on a high-end cruise ship. I've been around royalty. The grass is not greener. I'm like, I love the people on it. I love that it's right outside my door. Like, relax. I can afford the other ones, but I don't want to. And it's like, oh, okay, feel better than me for a second. Like, I'm living my life. And as you said, it's not just like showing the success. It's actually getting to enjoy the success, and I'm enjoying it on my terms. And that might be at a great restaurant, somewhere, or it literally might be Uber Eating's McDonald's. But either way, I'm not stressing about where I'm going to pay for it, and that's the win, I would say, at this
I love
point.
that. One moment, Greg. We'll be right back after we pay some bills here. Welcome back to Living Not So Fabulously. We're back talking with a man who regularly asks his followers to find their joy, theater teacher and social media content creator Greg Kata. So I'm going to pivot the conversation a little bit. You were in theater. You're a theater teacher now, but you also got into content creation. What does content creation look like for you, and what exactly sparked that leap?
Oh, well, I mean, that's easy. It's COVID. We were all bored, unemployed, and desperately seeking connection. And so I just downloaded the TikTok app like in April of 2020. Like, even before TikTok really blew up, it was still kind of early. I mean, especially elderly was really going like, wait, how are these people posting every day? I would spend hours and hours like thinking of a skit, and I treated it more like I was creating like little mini plays or whatnot. Like, that was sort of where I was originally coming from. And then quickly realized that that is not sustainable. Like, about 4 months in, I discovered that I told a story about my neighbor, and people just kind of started reacting. I woke up to like 100,000 followers the next day and was like, wait, I guess people just want to hear me talk. And so that became quite easy. So, I've taken advantage of the monetary bonuses when it comes to that, but this is not a job. If it were a job, I would hate my life, because I can't stand talking about it. I can't say the word influencer without throwing up in my mouth. But like, I get it, and I don't want to downplay what it is, but I don't take myself too seriously. I don't follow a formula. If I don't want to post, I don't. I haven't posted in almost a week and a half, and it's because my life comes first. Like, I have to live my life in order to talk about my life.
But one of the things I kind of latched onto was this idea that the way you're talking about it is almost a contradiction to what we see young people doing today. That now, instead of wanting to be doctors and lawyers and astronauts and policemen, so many, I think it's upwards of 60% of young people today say that they want to be an online influencer. And so what would you say to them? Especially, I would say there's a strong, I think a strong draw for young LGBTQ kids to want to be out in front and doing these kinds of things, especially in social media. What would you say to them?
Um, I mean, I don't like to crush dreams. This is one dream that I really kind of don't mind crushing because I don't really think it's a dream. I think for many of them, it's just what they know. And it's arrogance. It looks easy. It looks like they're successful. It's like when people wanted to, same way people treat actors. They're like, oh, I could do that. I want to be an actor. I want to be in movies. Why do you want to be in movies? Because you want to tell human stories and human experiences, or because you want to be rich and famous. And so, what I try to tell them is, I try to show them how, not that it's hard, but that it is work, that it is a lot of knowledge that I think if I hadn't had my performing career and worked with agencies and negotiated contracts and all that, like this is the Wild West. Yeah, I mean, I get hundreds of emails a day from different brands, 90% of which are fake or overseas, trying to, for me to, and just the how much they offer and all, like, it's crazy because it's not regulated. There is no union saying that here's your SAG minimum, here's your day rate, none of that. And so if you're a young person, it would be so easy to get taken advantage of. And these contracts, I mean, that's why I have an attorney, is because they sneak wording in there that, like, you just signed away your likeness for in perpetuity. Like, that's dangerous. So I don't think a lot of them understand what they're getting into. They only see, and that's the gross part about what we do, is that it's like they only see what we want them to see. Again, such a long answer to your very easy question, and I'm so sorry.
No,
I
no,
don't
that's
know.
okay.
Stop do it. We need doctors, and we need, like, plumbers, and we need those things. We do not need another food influencer.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, I think it's a really valid point. Because if we have literally millions of young people saying they want to be an influencer, they're going to dilute the market so much that no one will be able to make enough money to live. And then you're going to have a lot of young people who are going to be stressed out financially, chasing a dream, trying to get the next like, trying to get the next follow, trying to get the next contract. And it's just going to become much, much more difficult, which to me kind of almost pulls away from your saying, find your joy. If you can't find your joy in it, where did that come from, and how did that become your brand?
Gayest, best story ever. Well, it's a dark best story. So after 9/11, like literally like a month after 9/11, uh, I was at NYU, I was in New York, and I was doing drama therapy workshops with students that were right near the World Trade Center. But one particular workshop was sponsored by Bravo TV, and like they paired us up with really good like celebrities. At first it was really mainly theater celebrities, but then this one day it was like rock and roll legends and unbelievable movie stars. So I was paired with Harvey Firestein and Cyndi Lauper in a round table group with children, and we were talking about, like, how to, like, move forward and all of these things. And I'm just saying shut up, because I'm like, let these two legends, and this is pre Kinky Boots too, so, like, let these two legends just, like, go at it, and I'll just chime in whatever. But I'll never forget, someone asked, like, how do you move forward, how do you get up out of the bed every day? And so Cyndi Lauper has such an iconic accent. It sounds so fake, it doesn't sound real, but she kept saying, you gotta find your joy. You just gotta find your joy. And so I would say that in my, like, young, like, but in her accent, as just like a whatever, like, if it's not harming anybody, just, find your joy, find your joy. But I said it in that first video that went viral that like got me followers because I decorated Halloween early and my neighbor had something to say about it. And I decided to do a rant on her because I was like, you know what? It is a dumpster fire of a year. And if it's not killing or hurting anybody, just go do it. If you want to put your Christmas decorations up right now, I will help you. Like, that's how much we needed joy. And I said, find your joy. Just do it. If it doesn't bother you, stay out of people's life and just move forward. And so I started ending my videos with that. And I do believe it because I think people are lazy and they wait for joy to come to them. And so what I'm trying to inspire people to do is that and I do this with my students, you're in the driver's seat of your life and you are not, don't be a passenger. Don't just watch it happen, make it happen. That's not Pollyanna to say, you're not going to have crap days, but you have to cipher through, Swiffer is what I meant to say. There you go. Through the chaos. And sometimes you have to actively get involved and find it. It's not Amazon Prime. It's not going to show up on your doorstep in 2 days. You have to sometimes be an active member of your own life. And so it's kind of just it was from that, but, I still haven't seen Cyndi Lauper since, but I owe her a drink.
So I will say that I think for me, one of the big takeaways here is, especially for those of you who want to get into the influencer world here, is that what you see of the influencer world is but really a tiny sliver of all the work that it requires. And Greg really pointed this out. They're only showing you the best of themselves. They're not showing the full reality.
Yeah, it reminds me a bit about what Allison Stoner said on this very show about being in Hollywood. It is kind of the Wild West out there. So if you want to become an influencer, that's all well and good. Just remember, you're going to need to have your team. You're going to need an accountant, an attorney, and an agent, all those people to help protect you from getting taken advantage of.
Thanks for tuning in. If you have any questions or guest suggestions for us, just email yfpodcasts@yahooinc.com.
Also, scan the QR code to follow Yahoo Finance Podcast for more videos and expert insights, because when you do, you'll laugh, you'll learn, and you might just find your financial joy. And until next time,
Stay fabulous.
This content was not intended to be financial advice and should not be used as a substitute for professional financial services.